TotallySiblings.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Hey, I have locked the kittens up.
That sounded so wrong.
I had to put them in the catchuary.
That works.
Catchuary.
That works.
Yes, catchuary.
We're just
Cat
pulling.
sanctuary.
We're just pulling your chain.
Yeah, don't do that.
Hey, you pull mine all the time, sis.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
Do I really?
Yes, you do.
Do I?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
by
you
the
do.
way, I sent the link.
Do I?
The
Cool.
other link.
Cool. I'll get that in the description for you. Mistakes have happened, and mistakes will happen, so we'd rather give our audience the best of the best. Yes, it is.
Editing is your friend.
Post-production, folks, that becomes your friend a lot of times. Use it. It helps.
I need to get something to eat.
Oof.
And I gotta plug in my laptop because it's about to close on me. Nope. Here we go.
Oh, man,
I always keep
forgot
my
to
laptop plugged in. Unless I'm actually
Same.
mobile. Other than that, I just keep it plugged in. I always keep my laptop plugged in. I always keep my laptop plugged in. I always keep my laptop plugged in.
Yeah.
If it's not in
I will be back. I need to use the loo and get something to eat because
Oh yeah.
it's 7-Eleven right now, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I've got to see if there's anything in this house to eat. Otherwise, I might have to have leftovers, which I don't really want.
I know that feeling at one time. One time I was like, look, I need to get something to eat before my stomach eats itself.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was delivery here where I'm living at, but there's not. So.
Oh, jeez.
It's a small town. What do you expect?
Right, I understand.
If those food joints better be in walking distance then.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and where she lives
I have to drive.
Well, I gotta drive too, so you're not alone.
Same with my town. You have to drive to location. You can't just walk. What is this, a city?
I mean, you could, but that would take quite a while. And by the time you get there, you're going to be even more hungry and not even want to take it home then.
I was at one job. I was at one job in the middle of almost nowhere. And the nearest food joint was like 30 minutes away. I'm talking about like the nearest fast food joint from the venue location was like 30 minutes away. So I said, look, I am not driving with this big truck 30 minutes. So I just went to the nearest gas station, gathered up a bunch of snacks, and said, all right, we're calling it a day with this.
Understood. It's cheap,
we have
quick,
a Subway. We have a Subway, a gas station, which we call the truck stop, which is food there, but I don't really care for the food. There's Grazers, which, let's just say that goes through me. The food's not good. It's just not. And then we've got a Mexican restaurant.
Food.
We've got a Mexican restaurant, which is open until 9 o'clock, but I don't feel like going. I don't want to leave the house. And then
the struggle is real.
The Chinese restaurant is closing, so... And I don't feel like Chinese.
I love Chinese
Easy
food.
Treats is closed because literally we only are open until 4 o'clock on Saturdays. So
I love Chinese food.
Crud, I work all day tomorrow. Ugh.
I work from morning to just early afternoon.
11 until 7. That's what I'm supposed to be doing, but sometimes people come in last freaking minute and order food right before we have to shut off the grill.
I try my best not to do that.
Yeah,
which
my roommate or my friend said the same thing when she was working in food industry. She worked at like what was it, Olive Garden? Yeah, Olive Garden. They're the ones with the minty chocolates, right?
Yeah, Andy's.
Yeah, I think it was Olive Garden, and everybody would always come at the last minute, I guess, when they're just about ready to close, and they never leave.
No, we've had people come in at like, what, 6:43 and order food, and they don't even take it to go. No, they have to sit down and eat it, and then they leave such a big mess behind. And sometimes those people don't even leave a freaking tip.
Yep.
Yeah, that's bogus.
Struggle is real in the food industry.
Yeah, my Grandma Joyce, she's our boss. We call her Grandma because basically we treat each other like family. So, she will go to those people and be like, I'm sorry, but we're closing. You need to get out. Because
My boss,
the thing
I'm
is, if
sure
they're
would
still
love
there
to
while
do
we're
that.
still closing up, Grandma's like, you can just go. We'll deal with them. So,
We know how to take care of people that don't want to leave.
All of a sudden, you see just like this huge huge stun gun that just gets test fired.
no.
Grandma gotta
Nah, I'm
go.
kidding.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me. Okay, so last week we had or a couple weeks ago we had the rodeo in town, and so a bunch of cowboys from different states were coming in. You know, people traveling from everywhere. Well, this one guy apparently wasn't happy with how the burgers tasted,
Oh,
and
goodness gracious.
he said it tasted like bleep. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
We're just
Oh,
gonna
I
go with
can
that.
guess what that is.
And he wasn't happy about that, and he's and the thing is, he didn't even ask. Like, he ate all of it. He ate all of it, and and I'm like, well, Nicole, Grandma's daughter, she was like, well, how do you know what that tastes like?
Oh.
What bleep tastes like? Because he replied through he did it through Facebook on our Facebook page.
Oh no.
Oh,
Don't
snap.
respond with something negative.
You know, and Nicole deleted it, you know, but the guy, he went on to say, I'm going to come back there and I'm going to bleep all over your building.
Oh gosh.
What a child.
One that's
No, even a
one that's
child
indecent
act like
exposure. Two that's vandalism with
Yeah.
bodily waste. And three that's public disturbance.
Yeah,
Yep.
even children know better than that. At
Yeah,
least
well, the
most
thing is, we
children.
got security cameras, so.
Say cheese. You're on America's worst and dumbest criminals.
Yeah, that probably would be on America's dumbest
And
criminals or
Nicole
world's
took,
dumbest criminals.
Nicole took a screenshot
Yeah,
of
I
the
love that show.
she took a screenshot of the thing, so if he does come by, he, you know, denies it. It's like, we got a photo here, proves it, date and time as well. So
Oof. Yeah. This. Some of the people of this just.
okay, no, there was a guy from apparently Oregon or Ohio. I don't remember which one, but he came in and he apparently sat closest to where you could hear the sounds of the games from the game room.
Mm-hmm.
And he went online on Yelp and said, I wasn't happy because the sounds of the games ruined the atmosphere. You do realize that you could, I don't know, sit closer to the door near the exit where you won't hear the sounds? You know?
And just for the record, every double distance that you are from a speaker, you lose 2 notches of human hearing from that source. So it lowers every two notches of human hearing every double distance away from the source.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, it'll be a bit, but it's like, come on, guys, really?
And he was, and we were like, this is a family restaurant. Thank you very much. Meaning children are gonna be here playing games.
Right.
And if you wanted somewhere quiet, maybe you should go to, I don't know, a steakhouse or a restaurant, a grill or bar where it's quiet.
Or better yet, just stay home.
A bar that's actually quiet?
Or better yet, just stay home in your
Who? Guess
room.
what? Yeah, just drink alone in your room.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do it all the time.
Yeah. No, but we were like, "Are you serious, dude?" Like, and he complained about the prices of our
Hey,
food,
Sono.
and I'm like, "Dude,
Who's this?
do you
Kendra?
realize
Yeah.
that?"
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, hello.
Hey,
Can y'all
Sono,
hear Sono?
you're part of our pre-record Totally Siblings. Say hello to all the viewers.
Hey, how's it going?
Everyone,
like
this is
super
Sono ASMR, another voice acting YouTuber that we definitely encourage that you check out. Makes great content.
Totally do it. Totally do it.
Live right now?
Not live, it's pre-recorded.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
editing is everything.
So
How's
yeah, we're
everyone
just
doing?
talking about how our week was, and also some stories that we got as part of the atmosphere. But ultimately, us just being siblings as we are.
Yeah. But
Yep.
you'll have to watch back later on this one. There's a lot you missed.
Yeah,
There's a lot
is.
you missed.
Yeah. Especially caging up kittens. Naughty, naughty.
Hey!
oh gosh, did she really just do that? She really just did that.
Just
Up,
turned
there's
it
a
back
window.
around.
They can look outside.
How do you guys get in the call like that?
Was that?
How do you guys get into the call like that? It's pretty cool.
How are you both under the same?
Oh,
Oh,
we're
God.
I actually there. Okay, so let me break this down.
Oh god.
So
gosh.
currently we're doing two different profiles. So me and Kendra are on our personal profiles on a video call with each other to get into
Okay.
OBS for the proper settings. And then for audio for our guest as of right now, there's a second profile that we created, which you'll see in the chat, that is called Totally Siblings interface in parentheses. So that one I have also interfaced to my console with doing the proper mix minus to get everybody routed accordingly.
OBS.
Okay, that is a lot. OBS is an open source streaming software.
Hi, Xemnas.
Yes, it is. Hello,
Welcome to the
Xemnas.
call.
So
Oh,
just
so
know
you-
we're doing a pre-record right now for a show called Totally Siblings. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right,
So
good
I
stuff.
guess you gotta be in a video chat and then open up OBS and then go in a voice channel, I think.
Yeah, so there's a second Discord profile that's handling all of the guests. Meanwhile, me
Okay,
and
that makes
Kendra
sense.
are on our personal profiles, which allows us to do video into OBS. I did a lot of drawing on the drawing board for this.
Makes sense.
And it's working.
I can imagine that would take a lot of planning to
Yeah.
do this properly
It's-
because I heard a lot
Okay,
of technical
guys,
terms.
I
in the
shall
explanation.
be back. I am going to use the loo and actually get something to eat this time. So
Yep. Yeah, I think you should
I'm going
probably
to
do
leave
that.
this over my computer so you see beauty.
Actually, all we see is one cloud.
There.
All we see.
There you go.
Oh man.
I'm just over here playing some
Have
shit.
fun. Oh gosh, this is probably gonna be too hilarious when this goes out. This is going to be
People are not
hilarious.
gonna know what's going on.
Oh please, they'll probably be like, so this is what goes on. Yep, this is what goes on in the life of us YouTubers.
I'm just gonna try to avoid cussing as much as possible.
Thank you. But because it's pre-recorded, I'll more likely just bleep it out. But the less you say, the better.
Well, yeah, less work.
So how's everyone's day doing so far?
So far, it's going good. Yeah, just the only thing is, it's a little bit hot.
Yes, extraordinarily.
Like
It's a lot
even
of
in my
chili.
room, and I don't have air conditioning, so that kind of makes it just a little bit more of a challenge.
A little bit of
Yeah.
a depressing day today for me, but other than that, it's been great.
That's good.
I just want to turn on the fan, but it'll be too
Finished-
loud.
Finished
Yeah,
work on
no
my
worries.
dad's bike,
Oh, nice.
but then man, the oil filter was really hard to get off.
Oh yeah, I heard that those can be a challenge to get off at times.
I
The
cut
what?
my finger a few
The
times.
oil
already.
filter.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, try to be
Yeah,
careful.
they can be a pain sometimes, but they can also be really easy.
Well, hopefully it's the latter.
Yes.
So far, it's finished, and I'm happy, man. I'm done, bro. I'm like, I have no more energy.
Yeah, seriously. That's usually me after a sound gig. I am dirt tired. Folks, for those of you who don't know, production technicians for a concert or a festival, usually they're the first ones there, or if not the second, and they are the last ones, usually some of the last people to leave. So usually
That's understandable.
they put up the PA usually and all that the day of that morning, and then do the event, and then in the evening they have extra hands come to help load all that stuff out.
Yeah,
So
they
yeah.
need extra hands, man. You can't do that by yourself.
Well, most of the time you have, depending on, like, on the average festival, especially for an average crowd at a stage, you're looking at maybe three operatives to set up just a PA system, and they may bring in a fourth to help pack up in some cases. But on big
Makes sense
productions,
to me.
but on large
I've
scale
seen that all the
productions
time.
such as concerts in arenas and stuff like that, for that whole production, you're looking at 40 stagehands, or maybe 20. You're
That
looking
takes
at
a
20 to
lot
40.
of,
You're looking at 20 to 40 stagehands.
that stuff takes a lot of people to set up.
Oh
So
yeah, and to do it in 5 to 6 hours, yeah, about 20 to 40 stagehands will do it. They usually start with lighting first. They'll get lighting set up first because they fly that up into the grid, and then at that point they'll bring in sound and carpentry, because at that point carpentry can pretty much do almost whatever they need to on stage without being too much in the way of anything. And usually when the stagehands go for lunch break, the sound engineers will stay behind to try to calibrate the system to the room, which usually they have roughly an hour to do it. So whatever they don't get done, they're just gonna have to do it as they go. But usually they can get it dialed in pretty well. Because again, in many cases, and especially in a lot of the venues that they go into, they've pretty much already got the system pretty much dialed in as it is with how the musician stuff is supposed to sound. So just by running a noise through the system called pink noise, which basically provides equal energy across the entire spectrum that the human ear can actually listen, it kind of sounds like the sound like when a TV loses its cable signal, but they call it pink noise. So they run that through. They'll take measurements and everything, try to balancing everything through. So by the time the guys get back, it's pretty well put in. Plus, there's another function that they do now called virtual sound check, which basically is they can record all of the instruments simultaneously in individual tracks, then play them back through the console how they would be equalized, and at that point kind of dial it in even further. So that's pretty nice to be able to do that.
Quick
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
The more you know.
So you said there's two accounts. So your personal accounts are in the voice chat in DM.
Yeah.
The second account is linked how?
The second account is the TotallySiblings interface. That you can see in the VC chat.
So that's just an interface?
I call it interface so people don't start trying to DM it thinking that it's a live profile where there's actual human interaction on it per se. But ultimately it's just a profile. And so that's how you're hearing me and Kendra, and then I route you all to Kendra so she can hear you. Yeah, it's it's a bit of a complexity at first glance.
I remember doing that the same thing on a live stream as well too. So open up OBS and have two voice at the same time.
Yeah, well, ultimately everything's really running through my console.
Is it similar? Is it like a similar setup, by the way?
Yeah, it is. I just did some different configurations on my mixing console, but ultimately all audio runs through my console.
Oh,
I'm so glad I don't have this problem. For some reason, mine kind of works. I can just lower or like make the volume of you guys higher or lower.
Yeah,
But
well,
other
in
than
my
that, I can
instance,
easily link Discord to my OBS.
Yeah. Well, the thing with me
Yeah.
is why I'm doing it this way is if I ever need to, I can pull any signal source out right in an instance from the console versus having to go into the computer, switch different tabs, and then go to it.
Ah, I see.
So by
I don't
going
have
into
any of that
the
stuff,
console,
so
it's
I have
easy
to
to
keep
do.
it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, there are times,
Like I
especially in
said,
certain
I
streams
don't
that I
have
do.
that.
Yeah. Plus, there are certain
So,
streams that I do also, to where there are times to where I need to put Discord into stream, then I need to take it out to talk to the people on Discord to figure out what they want to do next, and then bring them back. So yeah, it's a
So
lot of
because you have a
complexity for what
console,
I'm
so
doing.
it's easier for you to work with.
Exactly.
Okay, I see now. That's why. It'll probably be different for me than it's different for you.
Yeah, I
That makes
bet.
sense now.
Yeah.
I had to keep mine very simple because I don't have any of that cool stuff that can help me with
It's
anything.
not all that fancy. It's just a little. It just makes things a little bit easier.
Not all that fancy in my.
Yeah. Do do do.
Plus, with this, I can listen into different sources as well. Like I can listen to what's being sent to you. I can listen to what's being sent to Kendra. I can even listen to what's being sent to the actual stream or OBS. So it's nice to be able to do all those different types of functions.
So OBS, it said there's a record button, right? So you
Yep.
can do that.
Yep.
Oh, all right. Got it.
Yeah, it's primarily what I use to record any of my productions, whether it's if my heart had wings, if it's Doki Doki Literature Club. Pretty much everything I do records in OBS because of all the transitional functions that it has.
I love that.
So like the camera transaction and all of that.
Exactly. And then when
Got you.
I may do some unique transitions in the video editing software to where either I messed up in OBS or it's just a better transition in the editing software.
I wish
Okay.
my camera would work. I would love to use my camera.
What's wrong with it?
Well, I mean, besides the fact that it's kind of old school, not like really old school.
Mhm.
It says it can like do live feed and whatnot, like video live feed, but I don't know the programs for it. And then when I try to do them, they're mostly not for the programs for the camera that I use.
Mm. See if I can find you a link to a camera that was pretty decent, but it can do 1080p. I think I paid like $35 for it.
Ooh,
Yeah, so I'll find it. I'll get you a link to that.
okay. Because what I have right now is just a really nice Nikon that I had to use for advertisement in my classes.
Ah, yeah, Nikons are some of the
Promo
best.
stuff. Yeah, right? They are.
Yeah,
God darn
Nikons
it.
are. Whew.
Real quick, let me just shut my door because you can hear across the house.